Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everyone. I want to thank you for joining me again this evening for, for my live stream. Thank you for joining me this evening for my live stream. I want to sincerely appreciate you guys. I want to thank you. This is awesome. Please do me a favor. Uh, Make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, hit the bell button as well so that you can get notified whenever I'm coming online and whenever I have any new content and videos posted on my channel. And then also, lastly, please do me a favor, share and share and share. Hit the share button for this video. There are a lot of people that needs this particular information. A lot of people need it, so they need to hear it. All right. So that's why today we the topic I want to share with us today is basically how do you prepare for the ISC2 CAP certification exam? How do you prepare for the ISC2 CAP certification exam? So that is what we shall be looking at in today's class, today's live stream. And like you know, a lot of people, uh, so like you know, a lot of people actually wants to take this CAP certification exam, and they are wondering how to go about it. So with this, we want to see how we can, a little I can share with you guys so you that can help you prepare for this CAP certification exam. Before we start, my name is Emmanuel Cyprian. I'm from TiTech Consulting. TiTech Consulting is an IT consulting firm, and we also teach, prepare students for cybersecurity certification exams, preparing them for on-the-job, workforce. So let's go straight into today's topic: preparing for ISC2 CAP certification exam. What is CAP? CAP means Certified Authorization Professional. CAP means Certified Authorization Professional. So that is what it means. Now, how do you prepare for this certification exam? How do you prepare for it? Now, I have a couple of things that I would like to share with you guys that will aid you, prepare you, give you some content as you prepare for the CAP certification exam. First of all, let's look at exam overview. I'll be opening, sharing with you my content as time goes on. Exam overview. So let me share here with you. Let me share with you here. Share my screen. Okay. I hope you can see my screen that I'm sharing here. Exam overview. So let's start with exam overview. What is the exam overview? So exam overview. Here, what it means is, what do I want to say under the exam overview? First of all, this CAP certification exam has 125 multiple choice questions. So the total questions in the exam is 125. The second thing I want to share, let you know under the exam overview is the number of hours that are allocated for you to take the exam is 3 hours. 3 hours is the number of hours allocated to take the exam. And then how do you pass? You need 700 points to pass. You need 700 points to pass. And once you take the exam, if you perform well, you pass immediately, you'll get your result. If you perform, whichever way you perform, immediately they will print out your result and give it to you. Another thing is the exam costs $599, $599. After the exam, if you pass the exam, the next hurdle you need to take care of is called the endorsement. Endorsement means someone who has any ISC2 certification needs to endorse you. Remember, for ISC2 to award you the CAP certificate, you must have a minimum of 2 years work experience in any of the domains. In any of the domains, at least 2 of the domains, you must have 2 years work experience. Now, if you have that 2 years work experience, anyone that has a CAP ISC2 certification, either CISSP, CCSP, or CAP, can endorse you. What the endorsement means is the person is verifying that you have that 2 years experience. The person has reached out to your supervisor, has called your supervisor to verify all those claims. And then ISC2 will go ahead, process your endorsement form, and after about 6 weeks or more, they will reach back to you with the certification award. So those are the things you need to know under the exam overview. The exam is equally taken on a site, Pearson VUE Centers. So you go to their website, you register, you have a username and password. You can schedule your exam 2 months ahead, a week ahead, a day ahead, depending on if there is, availability of space in the selected center. You also determine your center, you determine your time, you determine your dates. So you can take the exam at any time. You can take the exam at any time that is convenient for you or comfortable for you. So that is that regarding exam overview. The next thing we'd like to talk about is the exam is based now. The exam is based on NIST 837 Rev 2. Rev means revision 2. The exam, CAP exam, is currently based on NIST 837 Rev 2, no more Rev 1. And another thing I want to let you know is the exam outline. The exam outline is at their website, meaning that ISC2 website, their website is not updated in regards to the exam outline. So this is my advice. Don't go to ISC2 website to download exam outline to prepare for the CAP certification exam. No, it's not going to help you at all. The last time the website was updated was 2018, October 15, 2018. And after then, NIST 837 has been revised to revision 2. NIST has updated their exam in line with NIST 837 revision 2, but they've not updated their website. So let me prove to you what I'm trying to talk about. Now, according to NIST 837 revision 2, there are now 7 steps, RMF 7 steps: prepare, categorize, select, implement, assess, authorize, monitor. But let's check out ISC2 website. Let's see what they have in there. So let me bring up here. So let's quickly check out their website so as to prove to you what I'm trying to say. So here is their website. So here is ISC2 website. When you go to certifications, you'll see the different certifications that they have. So here is all the certifications they have. These are all the certifications they have. So when you click on CAP, so it takes you to what you need to know to prepare for the exam, what you need to know um, to get certified, becoming a member. So under here, let's click on register and prepare for exam, which is the part number 2, register and prepare for exam. When you click on that, it tells you, look at the domain. Without even downloading the exam outline, look at the domain. The domain is still saying domain 1, information security risk management program. Domain 2, categorization of information system. Domain 3, selection. So there is no preparation. There is no preparation. Now, if you go deeper, trying to download the exam outline, so let's quickly download the exam outline so you have a better view of what I'm talking about. So here is the exam outline. This particular exam outline was last updated October 15, 2018. The exam now is based on NIST 837 revision 2. NIST 837 revision 2 came up 2019. That was when it was updated. So here the website is still saying last updated October 15, 2018. If we scroll down to the exam domain, you can see here, it's still giving us the old 6 steps. Now you might want to say, oh, categorization is still the same thing. Selection, no, no, no. They're no longer the same thing. They are no longer the same thing. The task under each of the steps has also been updated. So when you go through these, you see categorization. Let's take categorization as an example. Now, they are telling you that under categorization, these are the 2 tasks. These are the 2 tasks under categorization. According to the old NIST 837 revision 1, it's only 2 tasks under categorization. It was 2 tasks. Now, let me take you to NIST 837 revision 2. NIST SP 837 Rev 2. Okay, so here is NIST 837 revision 2. Let me quickly show you. So let's say table content. Table of contents. So this is the table of contents. As you can see, this is 7 steps. These are the 7 steps of the risk management framework. These are the 7 steps. Now let's take categorize as an example. Let's see what are the tasks, the newly updated tasks under categorize. So let's click on categorize. Let's go there. So you can see categorize. These are the tasks. Task number 1, system description. Task number 2, security categorization. Task number 3, security categorization, review, and approval, which is to say there are 3 tasks under categorization, no longer 2 tasks. According to ISC2 website, what are their tasks? It has even, it's now different. It says define information system, determine categorization. It's different from what we have now. It says system description, security categorization, review, and approval. Why am I saying this? Do not depend on CAP website in preparing for CAP exam. Do not depend on ISC2 website in preparing for CAP exam. No, their website has not been updated. So that is why I'm making this video, in order to give you updated information that you need to prepare for the CAP certification exams. So I believe this has helped you in order to, understand what I'm saying. Okay, so let's go back to my outline that I prepared to help you prepare for these CAP exams. The next thing we're going to talk about is, in preparing for the CAP exam, you need to understand the 7 steps in the risk management framework. The 7 steps, that is the RMF 7 steps. Prepare, categorize, select, implement, assess, authorize, monitor. These 7 steps is what the exam is based on. So you need to be abreast of it. You need to get yourself familiar with these 7 steps. Now, another thing you need to get yourself familiar is the task under each of the RMF steps. You need to get yourself familiar with the task under each of the RMF steps. Like we just saw, under categorize, there are 3 tasks. Under prepare, there are 18 tasks. Under select, there are 6 tasks. So you need to get yourself familiarized with the task under each of the RMF steps if you want to pass the CAP certification exam. Another thing you need to pay attention to is SSP, which is formerly System Security Plan, SSP. Its name has changed in the exam. It's no longer called SSP. It's no longer called System Security Plan. It's now called Security and Privacy Plan. So you will not see security plan in the exam. What you're going to be seeing in the exam is security and privacy plan. Please take note of that. Another thing you're going to prepare for the exam is SAR, Security Assessment Report. It's no longer called Security Assessment Report. It's now called Security and Privacy Assessment Report. Security and Privacy Assessment Report. That is what you're going to find in the exam. So please take note of those name changes. Plan of action and milestone, POEM, is still the same. It's still the same name. Another thing you need to pay close attention to, you need to study and get yourself familiarized when you're preparing for the CAP exam, is the roles and responsibilities. Roles and responsibilities. According to NIST 837 revision 2, there are roles, there are RMF roles and responsibilities. Please take note of that. If so here, if we go back to the table of content, you see here Appendix D is where we have the roles and responsibilities. Appendix D is where we have the roles and responsibilities. So pay attention to the roles and responsibilities. So if you click it, it takes you to the roles and responsibilities, as you can see here, authorizing official. So let me, under the roles and responsibilities, there are about 13 or 15 roles and responsibilities, according to NIST 837 revision 2. But it's not all the roles and responsibilities you need to pay attention to. There are some specific ones that is heavily tested in the exams. And those are authorizing official. What are the tasks? What are the responsibilities of authorizing official? Secondly, what are the responsibilities of information system owner? 3, what are the responsibilities of common control provider? What are the responsibilities of privacy officer? These 4 roles are heavily tested in the exam. Pay close attention to these 4 roles. Authorizing official, information system owner, common control provider, and privacy officer. Those 4 roles are heavily tested in the exam. So pay close attention to those 4 roles and their responsibilities. Another thing you need to pay attention to is the authorize and monitor steps. They are heavily tested in the exam. Authorize and monitor steps. They are heavily tested. So you want to make sure that you read it, you understand it, and then you memorize where possible. So authorization step, monitoring step, they are heavily tested. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay attention to the other steps. At least I've mentioned it earlier on. The preparation step, categorization, selection, implement, assessment, they are also important. But remember, it is called assessment and authorization. So which means the authorization step and the monitoring steps are heavily tested in the exam. Pay close attention to that. And you also need to pay close attention or study more regarding authorization package. What is authorization package? Authorization package consists of the privacy, authorization package consists of the security and privacy plan, security and privacy assessment reports, plan of action and milestone. So these are the 3 documents that makes up authorization package. So you need to pay close attention to them. And also, you need to pay close attention to the contents in those 3 documents. What do they contain? What is the security and privacy plan used for? What is the security and privacy assessment report used for? What is plan of action and milestone used for? You need to pay close attention to that. And another thing you will come across in the exam regarding the authorization package is what triggers the update. What triggers the update of the security and privacy plan? What triggers the update of security and privacy assessment report? What triggers the update of plan of action and milestone? You'll find all of that in NIST 837 revision 2. I can't go into details now. For those that consult me preparing them for the CAP certification, I go into detail. But for the sake of this live stream, I'm just doing a high-level overview on how you can prepare for the exam. High-level overview. Now, what I just said now, what triggers the update of security and privacy plan? What triggers the update of security and privacy assessment report? They are all found in NIST 837 revision 2. I know where they are, but I'm not going in there now. I'm not going into detail. I'm giving just an overview, high-level overview. That's what this video is meant for. So if you need details, explanation, well, reach out to me. Another thing you need to pay attention to, you need to study while preparing for the CAP certification exam is authorization types. Authorization types. You need to study it. You need to know it. There are 3 authorization types. So please go into NIST 837 revision 2. You will see those authorization types there. I'm not going into details into that. Another thing you need to pay attention to while studying and preparing for CAP exam is the authorization decisions. So there are different types of authorization decisions. There are different types of authorization types and then authorization decisions. Authorization decisions, there are different types. Study it. It's in NIST 837 revision 2. Also, authorization decision package. So whenever the authorizing official makes the authorization, what is contained in the authorization reports? So what are the things that are contained in the authorization reports? I've listed them here. 1, the authorization decision. 2, the terms and conditions. 3, the authorization termination date. You will find all of these in this 837 revision 2. So these are what you need to pay close attention to, because the exam is testing your knowledge as if you are already working in the field. That's why they require you to have 2 years work experience in any of the domains. So authorization decision report or package, what is contained in it, you need to study it, you need to understand it. Another thing you need to study and understand is authorization boundary. Authorization boundary means the scope of protection. The scope of protection. It's all there in NIST 837 revision 2. Now, these are things you need to pay close attention to in NIST 837 revision 2. And I want to encourage you, you don't need to buy any material to study for the CAP certification. No. If you can study NIST 837 revision 2 in and out, back and forth, to more than 3 times, you'll be fine. Not just reading, studying to understand the content. There are some information there that you need to understand. There are some information under select. And under select, tailoring. Some information under tailoring. What are the tailoring process? Those things are equally tested in the exam. Remember, I told you that the task under each step, study it. Now, apart from NIST 837 revision 2, what else do you need to study along with that? That is what I have here. The exam will test your knowledge on risk assessment. The exam, the CAP exam, will test your knowledge on risk assessment. Now, where do you get adequate information regarding risk assessment? NIST 800-30 revision 1 and NIST 800-39. Those are the 2 NIST publications that talks about risk assessment. Now, under risk assessment, which of the steps in risk assessment is heavily tested? Now, let me explain to you. For you to determine risk, there are some steps you need to follow. There are some things you need to follow. There are some things you need to know. 1, there must be vulnerability. That means you must identify vulnerability. I have a video on risk assessment and control assessment. So please go watch that. Go watch that. It will explain in details to you risk assessment. So for you to arrive at your risk, 1, you need to determine the vulnerability. You need to identify vulnerability. 2, you need to identify threats. 3, you need to determine the likelihood. 4, you need to determine the impact. And then 5, risk determination. Now, out of these 5 steps, Which one is heavily tested in the CAP exam? Threats. In CAP certification exam, they will test your knowledge on threats. What is threats? What are threat actors? What is threat motivation? You need to know it. Now, put it in considering the current situation that we are now, this week or over the weekend, majority of US departments, agencies were hacked. US Treasury, Commerce Department, and FireEye, was also hacked. That's why you need to know what is threat, threat actors, threat motive. All of that, you will find it in NIST 837, NIST 800-30 and NIST 800-39 regarding risk assessment. And then, lastly, excuse me, what you need to know in preparing for the CAP certification exam: contingency plan. Contingency plan. And what is contingency plan? Emergency plan. Under contingency plan, now where do you get enough information to study for contingency plan? NIST 834, NIST 800-34, revision 1. Under contingency plan is where you have the backups. Backups, you have the daily backups, incremental backups, and differential backups. Under contingency plan, they have the sites. You have the hot sites, you have the warm sites, you have the cold sites. These are what is put inside the contingency plan, which they also test you on business continuity plan, disaster recovery, incident response. So contingency plan is important that you study it in preparing for your CAP certification exam. So from my experience, information gathering from those that have taken the exam of recent and have passed it, these are some of the things you need to pay close attention to. I will recommend, don't buy any materials. Don't go to NIST, don't go to ISC2 website to go download their exam outline. No, it's not going to be helpful. Just study NIST 837 revision 2, study NIST 800-30 revision 1, study NIST 800-34 revision 1. So these are the high-level information you need to prepare for the CAP certification exam. In my class, I prepare my students for the CAP certification exam. While I'm teaching them, I bring this out and explain it in details to them. My primary focus for my training, for my class, is preparing my students for the job. How the job is done, why the job is done, the hands-on, the documentation, the template, the reporting, all of that, we'll do it in class. While we are doing that in class, I equally explain in details all of these that I've listed here. And that explanation is good enough to prepare them for the CAP certification exam. However, if you have taken the training elsewhere before and you want to prepare for the exam, you want detailed explanation, you can reach out to me, you can consult me. I have some students that I have some, hours that we booked out for preparing them for the CAP in the certification exam. So if you are in that same position, you need someone to help explain to you and prepare you for the CAP certification exam, please, you can reach out to me so that we can both go over this high-level content in detail. So in preparing for the CAP exam, these are the things you need to pay attention to. These are the things you need to pay attention to. Study it, master it, read it back and forth, especially NIST 837 revision 2. Read it back and forth, and you will be fine. You'll be fine. Another thing is there is no credible practice question for CAP out there. There is no credible one. Any question you see, any practice question you see regarding CAP, just use it to refresh your memory on what you have studied or what you have learned, but not word for word will come out in the exam. No, not word for word. No. So just, there's no credible practice question out there. So what am I saying in essence is, hey guys, you need to ensure you study very well. Study very well for the CAP certification exams. If you have any question, please don't hesitate. Shoot me a question now. I'm ready to answer any of your questions. So if you have question, please, you can send your question. You can type in the chat bar. I will be ready to answer your question like we did in my previous video. I'm ready to answer your question. Another thing is, why the questions are coming up, are coming forth, make sure, you have that confidence. Don't be afraid. Once you have studied, practice, read, you'll be fine. You'll surely be fine. So the exam is not difficult. You have 3 hours to take or to answer 125 questions. You have 3 hours to answer 125 questions. So you will have enough time to go over your questions. And please be careful when you're going over your questions, when you're making changes, be careful so that you don't go back and choose the wrong answer again. So be careful so you don't go back and choose the wrong answer. So most times it's always good that you understand what you're trying to change. If you have flagged a question, to come back to it later on, make sure when you're going back to it, at least you're able to understand the what's called the question and then answer it. Now, another thing I want to remind you of is, if you're currently working and you're taking the exam, if you're an assessor or an ISSO, what you're doing on the job is different from what they're going to tell. Don't use your job experience to answer majority of those questions. On the job, you as an ISSO, you are supporting the system owner. You might be the one updating the SSP. You might be the one updating the poem. But on paper, it is the responsibility of the system owner. So don't think it's your responsibility when you see it in the exam and they ask you, maybe you say a question in the exam asking you, oh, who updates the SSP? Who updates the SSP? Hey, don't say because you as the ISSO, you update it and then you go and choose, system security or officer. No, it is the responsibility of the system owner. Now, regarding the security and privacy plan, let me give you 5 information regarding the security and privacy plan. 1, security and privacy plan. The NIST publication for security and privacy plan is NIST 800-18 revision 1. 2, security and privacy plan is initiated at the categorization step. 3, security and privacy plan is approved at the select step. 3, before, who approved the security and privacy plan? Authorizing official. Authorizing official approved the security and privacy plan. Number 5, how many sections are there in the security and privacy plan? 15 sections. 15 sections. System name, system environment, control section, categorization section, the system owner section, the authorizing official. 15 sections in the SSP. So those are the 5 things you need to remember at the back of your mind regarding the security and privacy plan, formerly called SSP. Okay. James Ofe, thank you. Thank you for joining. AK, thank you. I can see you. Bumi Cyprian, thank you. I can see you. Francis Broby, thank you. I can see you. Thanks. Thanks. Kobe, thank you. I can see you. Media Network, thank you. Now, let me take some of these questions. He said, please, should we study the SDLC process? The SDLC process with this updated NIST 837 revision 2 is a little bit complicated because under one task, you will see them mentioning new SDLC initiation and what's it called phases. Then existing, they will mention. Let me show you what I'm trying to say here. Let me quickly show you what I'm saying here. So don't worry, I'll share my screen now so I can show you what I'm what I'm trying to say here. Okay. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let me show you what I'm trying to say here. So that's why, really, it's not, I will not say go study, share screen here. All right, so this is categorization step. This categorization, let me see here. No, this is select. This is select step. Under select step, there are 6 tasks. Under select step, there are 6 tasks that you need to know. 6 tasks. And here is what I want to show you under each of the steps. James is, I'm trying to answer James' question. Now look at this first task, which is control selection. For control selection, now for the SDLC, which is this, SDLC phase, it says new, development, acquisition, existing, operation and maintenance. So it could be a little bit challenging to memorize all of this. And from information gathered, there has not been anyone that says, oh, the SDLC phase is heavily tested. That's why I did not mention it. However, it's part of what you should study. But I've not had anyone saying, oh, the SDLC is heavily tested in the CAP exam. But please study it. It's part of the information you need to know. But the reason why, from my opinion, that it's not heavily tested is because of these. They are saying new, development, acquisition, existing, operation and maintenance. So it could be confusing. But please go ahead and study it while preparing for the CAP exam. I hope I've answered your question. So I'm not going to say, no, it's not tested. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, I've not had anyone saying that it is heavily tested in the exam. But please make sure you study it as well. Okay. So let me pull down this and then answer other questions. Stop the share. Okay. All right. James, I hope I've answered your question. Now, Kobe said, what certification do I need in order to get a job as a security control assessor? Okay. Kobe, what certification do you need in order to get a job as security control assessor? I believe that is what SCA means, security control assessor. Now, please and please, don't let anyone cheat you out, saying they're going to teach you, they're going to train you to become a security control assessor. No. The risk management framework training prepares you for a security control assessor's position. It also prepares you for information system security officer. Now, the RMF training, if you understand the totality of the RMF training steps, You can fit into different jobs or positions that will come up. If you are properly trained in the RMF steps, you can become a security control assessor. You can perform the position or the role or task of information system security officer. They can even create a position and call it POEM analyst. You can do that job. They can create a position and call it information security analyst. And all you're going to be doing is updating SSP. You can perform that role. So, going through the whole steps of the risk management framework is going to be more advantageous to you than you asking someone to just teach you to become a security control assessor. So don't remove that notion from your heart that, oh, I want to be trained as security control assessor. You can be an ISSO. The job is not difficult. No, it's not difficult. That is what I train my student for. I train them on the totality of the risk management framework steps, and that prepares them for any of the cybersecurity task or position that is out there. They can fit into it, except engineering, except security engineering positions. No. So I believe I'm able to answer your question, Kobe. All right, so AK, he says, what is the average preparation time? Well, the average preparation time depends on you. It's an individual. So you are the one that will determine how fast you can go, your pace. You determine your pace. But one thing that will help you to prepare adequately is when you register for the exam. Let's say, for example, you register a month ahead or 2 months ahead. That will prepare you. You're not going there to go and attempt the exam. $600 is not a joke. $600 is not a joke. So you're not going to waste $600. So when you register like 2 months ahead or a month ahead, that will ginger you, encourage you to study, because you know that, hey, you don't want to waste that money. So you understand yourself, you understand your schedule, you understand your other commitments. So that is what will help you to prepare, your pace of preparation. So AK, I hope I'm able to answer that question for you. James is saying the SSP section has 15 or 16 sections. Well, there is one that is repeated. So that's why I always go with 15 sections. But even if you say 16, it's equally okay. If you say 16, it's equally okay. So 15 or 16 section is fine. Ade22 says, thank you, Ade22, for joining. It says, linking RMF to SDLC is an important part of the exam too. Yes. That was what I said earlier on. I'm not saying you shouldn't study the SDLC, but from the information I've gathered, probably while they are taking the exam, the questions that pops up for them, the SDLC is not heavily tested. Most of the questions that came in through for them was not heavily on SDLC, but it's still part of the CAP exams domain. You need to study it. You need to study it. So it links the RMF steps together. It links the RMF steps together. Like I showed you here, under each of the tasks, under RMF steps, there is the SDLC phases, minimum of 2 SDLC phases for each task. So thank you, Adetutu. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. Now, yeah, media network. You say SSP has 15 sections. Yep, either 15 or 16 sections, depending. But that is at least that is the maximum that I've seen so far. Okay. All right. So those are the information you need at your disposal to help you adequately prepare for the CAP certification exam. The exam is not difficult. The exam is usually based on work experience is usually like what's it called now? It's called like a scenario-based question. Scenario-based question. That is what the exam is based on. And the exam, there is no acronym. They spell everything out. For example, security and privacy plan. They won't call it SSP or SPS or whatever. No, SPP, no. They will spell it out entirely. So those are the things you need to prepare yourself for when you're preparing for the CAP certification exam. And like I said in my last video, which I is on my channel, CAP certification is in level 2, is higher than Security Plus. Security Plus is in level 1. CAP certification is in level 1. CAP certification is also acceptable to level 2. So those are the things you need to know. If you have CAP certification or Security Plus, yeah, you are good. And now another thing I want to emphasize again is anybody can sit down at the corner of his house and write any certification and pass it. Study, go take certification and pass it. But that does not mean that that person can do the job. No, it doesn't mean the person can do the job. Yes, I understand emphasis are placed on certification. For some employers, they place emphasis on certification, but majority of the IT jobs out there, they're not placing emphasis on certification above experience. So you need to know the job. You need to have the requisite skill sets. You need to have the requisite experience. Certification is equally good, but you need to know the job. That gives you much more confidence. You can get a job without certification. Yes. You can get your RMF job without the certification. But a lot of those that have certification are even confused on how to go about the cybersecurity career. So that means two of them has to go hand in hand. But don't get discouraged. I know some of my students who don't even have the CAP certification and they already have a job. They already have a job. So don't get discouraged if you don't have the certification yet and you have taken the training. You can be preparing for both. Don't give up. Yes, I understand that some of the jobs coming your way might be asking you, oh, you need a CAP certification, you need a Security Plus. Yes. If you have the bandwidth of time, make sure you go prepare, get the certifications. It helps you, especially when they are in a position of making a decision between you and some other candidates. If those other candidates have certification, they will prefer them to you. So that is where certification, plays a role. Thank you, Moji. Thank you. I see you. Jesus compassion. Okay, let me read your question. So I put forth my application. An Indian recruiter called me and said the boss, who is also an Indian, was going to call to ask for my social security number to verify my clearance status. But I'm kind of skeptical. Yes, please be skeptical of anyone asking you for your personal identifiable information, such as social security number. Please be skeptical of that. Don't give out your social security number to anybody, no matter the what's it called, no matter the amount you want to pay for that job. No, don't give out your social security number. If they want to verify your clearance status, at least let them even interview you. Let them provide you an offer. And then they can go ahead and start, pulling your clearances and see if you have an active security clearance. Yeah, let them get to that stage first. Not at the initial stage of trying to see if you fit into that position and then they're asking you for your social security number. I would say categorically, don't give anybody your social security number, no matter how juicy that job is, except they have given you an offer. Then they want to do background check. Yes, you fill up the background check documentation. All right. I hope I'm able to answer that question. AK says, what are some of the sources you recommend for practice question? Well, like I said earlier, or maybe you've not joined then, there is no credible practice question for CAP certification exam. No credible practice question. So please focus on NIST 837 revision 2, NIST 800-30 for risk assessment, NIST 800-34 for contingency plan. Now for NIST 800-30 for risk assessment, you're not reading everything. I told you where to focus on. Threat. What is threat? What is motivating them? Threat motive. What are the sources of threat? Those are the things you need to pay attention to when you are studying the NIST 800-30 revision 1 for risk assessment. Okay. James says, please do not give them, yes, do not give them your social security number, please. Okay. Kobe says, so basically with Security Plus, a person can get a job with RMF. Yes. Reason being that, especially for Department of Defense, in my last video, I opened up the, what's it called? The certification classifications. Especially for Department of Defense, they need at least one cybersecurity certification. That is their requirement. So if you have done RMF training and then you have Security Plus, yeah, you qualify for their job. If you have done the RMF training and you have your CAP certification, yes, you equally qualify for their job. So Security Plus is equally good to have for RMF job. Security Plus will give you some of the basic information regarding cybersecurity, such as vulnerability, threats, malware analysis, stuff like that, penetration testing. Information such as that will help you to grind you when it comes to cybersecurity. So Security Plus will give you that information. So it's good to have Security Plus for RMF job. Yeah, Kobe says, regarding security clearance, since you don't have one, can you still get a job? Yes, you can get a job. You can get a job even if you don't have an active security clearance. You can still get a job. What that means is majority of the jobs, of RMF jobs, they are government-related jobs. They are for US government. Majority of the RMF jobs, they are from the US government department, agencies, you know. Now, those jobs will require you to have minimum security clearance, which is public trust. Minimum security clearance, public trust. So even if you don't have an active public trust, as long as you are a US citizen or you are a green card holder, you can still, they can process you for public trust. They can process you for public trust security clearance. If you are a US citizen or a green card holder, they can process you for a public trust security clearance. So that is how you can still get a job. And there will be some jobs that does not require you to have security clearance. Maybe some corporate organizations, private organizations. Yeah, they can still hire you without security clearance. All right. James says, please ask CEUs required to renew your CAP certifications. Yes. There are CEUs that you need. There is an amount of CEU you need to in order to renew your CAP certifications, like any other certifications. I think you will need about 60 CEUs per calendar year. Your CAP certification is for 3 years. Now, if you have only CAP certification, you pay $120 as annual membership to ISC 2. $120 annual membership. Now, every year you need to submit at least 60 CEU. So if you go to the membership site of their website, you will see what constitutes the CEUs. For example, if you have taken another cybersecurity certification after you've gotten your CAP, you can use that as a CEU. If you've attended conferences such as maybe Splunk, ROSA conference, any of these cybersecurity conferences or IT conferences, you can use that time also for your CEU. If you have attended college, you've gotten your master's or your bachelor's in cybersecurity, after you have gotten your CAP, you can use that to also get your CEU. If you train people, you provide training to people in cybersecurity, you can use that time to claim CEU. So those are different examples of what you can use to claim CEU. All right. So thank you very much. I'm sure this little information here today will help anyone preparing for the CAP certification, will help you, put in your best. We guide you on what to study, where to study, and how frequently to study that in preparing for the CAP certification exam. So please like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell sign so that you get notification whenever I'm coming online. Yes, I'll be coming online at least once in a week. So next week, I plan to come online to talk about the cybersecurity parts. Different paths you can take in realizing your cybersecurity career. It's either the engineering part or the GRC part, governance, risk, and compliance part. So I'm going to explain that in details in my next video. And I'm also planning to come online once in a while as well, maybe once in a week as well, talk about each of these security controls, explain them so that you have an idea what each of the control means. I remember there are a lot of controls, about 1,020 controls or 1,080 controls, according to NIST 853 revision 5. So I'll pick some of the major controls under each control families and explain what those control means. That will guide some of us who are already working when you need to explain those controls to stakeholders. You have an idea what you're talking about. So those are some of the topics I'll be sharing with you guys. And if you have any other topic you want me to talk about regarding cybersecurity, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. In my previous videos, let me put in here. So if you have any question, let me put in here my email address, info@titechconsult.com. Yeah, shoot me an email, and you can equally give me a call at 202 854 9882. So you can equally reach me on the phone number or that email address if you have any question. And also, please don't forget my class, the January class is coming up. The January class is coming up. I have 2 different sessions. So let me share that with you before I round up on today's stuff. Yeah, this is the January class that will be starting. I have 2 schedules for the January class. I have the Saturday class, and then I have the evening class. The Saturday class is for 7 straight Saturdays. The Saturday class is for 7 straight Saturdays, and it's starting January 23rd through to March 6, 2021. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's virtual. Then the evening class for January is for Mondays and Wednesdays for 4 weeks. Mondays and Wednesdays for 4 weeks. The evening class is starting January 18th through to February 8th, 2021. It's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So please share. I have the video. I have the video on my channel. You can search for it. 2021 RMF training schedule. You can share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues and family members. So those are my schedules coming up in January, and then the March schedule is also there. You'll find all those videos there. I don't want this video to be too long. So thank you guys for every one of you who have stopped by to join me in this live stream. Thank you, and thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. You have been an encouragement, helping me to bring out this content, helping me to bring out this content. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. So till next time when we will meet again, possibly next week or before this week runs out, if I'm coming up online, I will definitely schedule it and you will receive a notification. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And you guys should have a wonderful evening. Please stay safe. Stay safe.